Welcome into this Friday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio around 10:30 as we are getting going today. This is not really replacing, just a different time slot after not having a show last night. A very busy morning of Neal McCready's podcast at SEC Football and Beyond. The Soft Verbal coming up here in a little bit with Zachary Berry as well. And I'm talking to Brian Rippey, former Ole Miss beat writer, now going into the private sector, out of journalism. We're going to talk about that a little bit, talk about some Ole Miss stuff as well with him. So a lot of podcasts coming your way today on the MPW digital family, including, again, this one, the Oxford Exxon Podcast, brought to you every single day by, you guessed it, the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Download the Speed Pass Plus app. Take advantage of it, earn some points, and when you earn points, you save money there with the Oxford Exxon. Go stop in for a lunch special, $5.69, 2 sides of bread, 32-ounce drink, and more. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
Yeah, we are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi.
Do I need to get you a stress ball, like one of those things you squeeze as you do the show?
Well, I am dealing with some stress today, and then Caroline, my daughter, just sent me the change.org petition that's going around Oxford today. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen this.
About the changes that are desperately needed at Highway 6 and Buddy East Parkway, the 334 intersections. And
sure.
Like you and like anybody else who lives in this town or who's heard about what happened, it's oh, shit. Yeah. It's hard because that could be anybody. And sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. They just kind of, reading it kind of hit me a little bit. I'm sorry. 662-257-1900. 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for, and he'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. On top of all of that, Corey's a damn good person and a really good friend of ours, and so if you're in the market for a Ford vehicle or a vehicle in general, give him a call. We're also guests join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. I think you're talking to someone later today on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. So,
did you start audition?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. Be a great place to go this weekend if you can't get into Swayze, or even if you can and you're wanting to do something different, or you're before or after Swayze, or you want to watch the Ole Miss basketball game, or whatever the case may be. Be a great place to have a burger, enjoy some live music, sandwiches, the whole deal. Great beer selection, full bar, all of that at Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford and also in New Albany. And since we're talking about people being good to us and stuff, throughout the pandemic, Rafters, it would have been really easy for Rafters to say, hey, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to advertise. And they didn't do that. They kept going. So do us a favor, and if you're in town for the first time in a while because you finally get to go to a game or whatnot, and you're looking for a place to grab something to eat and maybe a cold one, stop by Rafters. I know there's a lot of cool places in town. But they're cool too, and they've been with us throughout this, so thanks.
You know, you mentioned that. I mean, we get asked the question a lot. Why do you do partnerships the way you do them? Why don't you do some more stuff this way? And there's a lot of reasons for it, but one of the reasons is that level of loyalty. Guys have been with us for a really, really long time. Because we went through a year of pandemic, all kind of just trying to help each other. Because you look at really our stable, and frankly everybody for the most part, though the ones that you guys know by heart, they all had their own business issues, their own business problems, and everybody hung in there throughout this entire year. So a lot of good people associated with our partnerships here at MPW Digital. So as we go through them throughout the day, show some patronage. Go in, whatever it is they do. If you need that done, let them do it for you. But yeah, you said it. I mean, there no words.
No.
Any parent, I don't know. I can't.
I didn't know them. I didn't know them, but I know friends of hers specifically, and devastating. I can't imagine that your family gets in a car and leaves to go to school for another day, another Thursday, and not even 8 o'clock. You get a phone call that
everything's changed.
And it's bad, and it was really bad. And he died instantly, I believe. The 6-year-old boy died pretty quickly. I don't think they even got him to the hospital. and then no, the girl. I'm
Vice
sorry.
versa. Yeah.
And then the little boy. They got him to Lebanon in Memphis, but I think they knew yesterday that it was going to take the miracle of miracles, and that miracle didn't happen. He passed away at about 3:00 this morning. And everybody who lives here and who are around it has been impacted. The people at Lafayette are just crushed, and I don't know. Yesterday was really heavy. It's heavy again today. I'm sorry.
It's just worst nightmare. I mean, speaking of, I was talking to Jason Lowe this morning about something else, and we were just saying I can't even really put the emotions or the words out to it. I mean, it just stuns you into silence almost. There is, if you'd like to help, North Oxford Baptist Church has set up a fund. Everything is running through them. If you would like to help out with that, because there's going to be medical costs and different things. You can go to their website. Go to, I'm assuming there's a donate button, but the Ellington Family Fund is on the drop down menu. I haven't been over there yet, but
right.
that is the instructions that I've heard on how to do that. Is going to the North Oxford Baptist Church website and pulling out from there. So.
I don't even know how you continue after something like that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine what her thought process is today, tomorrow, the next day. I just, like I said, I don't know her, but I know people who do, and they all say the same thing about her, and just tragic, just tragic. And you feel bad, obviously, the little girl was in the first grade. She had friends. She's a real person. The little boy had friends. He has neighbors that he played with, and he's just 3 years old. And I didn't know him at all. His family, and it's just.
The grief and the way life has changed for the driver in the other vehicle. I can't imagine.
No, I can't either.
You dealt with he was older, obviously, but you dealt with trying to get Carson through a similar circumstance a few years ago. And
yeah.
From a friendship standpoint,
when Henry died, just there's a lot of people to think about. For whatever reason today, I've thought a lot about those other first graders in that class. You're that age, you play with every class of 21 kids.
Yeah, my kid's almost 5. I know what their thought processes are. They know them. They
sure.
That's
their
relationships are built there.
That's their world.
Yeah,
that just terrible.
So
there's a petition that's out. If you live around here, it's
what is it detailing? And this is technically an improved area from what it used to be.
Yeah, what it's asking for is to turn off the yield function on the turn lane lights at Highway 6 and Buddy East Parkway, to extend the 55-mile-per-hour zone to at least a half a mile to the east of the intersection, because the speed limit right now is 65.
Okay.
Initiate a 45-mile-per-hour zone with signs and flashing lights from at least a quarter mile west of the Highway 6 334 exit to at least a quarter mile east of the Highway 6 Buddy East Parkway intersection during Lafayette school drop-off and pickup hours, because that's when it's so dangerous, is people are trying to get their kids to Lafayette.
Yeah.
And if you've not up here, you don't know this. The Lafayette campus is large. It's K through 12.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of traffic, people getting to Lafayette, whether it's in elementary or middle school or high school.
Yeah, it's a logistical challenge.
And then the final thing is to add rumble strips on Highway 6 approaching the Buddy East Parkway intersection. I don't know what happened. I'm absolutely not asserting any blame. I don't know. Caroline knows somebody who was a witness, so I've heard some things, but I don't know enough to get into it here. But regardless, it's if you live around here and you want to see that fixed, there's a petition at change.org.
Yeah, Doors Rule said, I remember that too, when Amy Ewing was killed on Highway 6, and they changed letting people park for football games on the highway at that point. So.
I didn't know her, but I know her brother, and
really?
They're a wonderful family. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Laura works with Brad at OUB.
Right.
They're great people. So it can happen to anybody, and I think that's when you see stuff like this, it's what really strikes you over the course.
Oh, look, we've all been lucky as hell. There's
sure.
all been car wrecks or near car wrecks where we've all had some help versus it going the other way. I mean, there's no doubt. I had essentially a head-on collision when I was 17. I mean, who knows? You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes you just never know. So, there's no segue out of this.
Nope.
I don't even know what we're talking about today. But nonetheless, we will put a show together. I guess the news, last time we talked to you guys, it had not been announced yet. It was announced shortly thereafter. They are just scrapping the Season A, Season B for Ole Miss baseball. That doesn't exist anymore. Whatever original season ticket you had prior to February 1st, you should have that in your email now for the rest of the season. They have gone back and filled every order as it would have been without a pandemic, in theory.
So is it all open this weekend?
I don't know what left field is. I haven't heard that. They've doubled student attendance for this weekend, but it's moving up. I just don't know how long.
Right.
And then in theory, everybody you can get some walk-ups and season tickets have been filled, but you're also knowing that it's not going to be 100% capacity for a Belmont weekend. But yeah, I think pretty much if you want into the stadium, you can get into the stadium this weekend. Let's phrase it like that, because I don't know what the actual number is, but there are no socially distanced requirements as far as sitting from another group of people or anything along those lines. If your row is completely filled from where your season tickets originally were, your row can be completely filled tonight and moving forward. We were told yesterday the league is not allowed for more press box seats, so actually we're the only place still socially distanced in the stadium.
Well, media types are so dirty, and I'm not going there today. It's just nice. Just too. It's all so stupid, and it's all so arbitrary, and I'm just kind of done.
It doesn't impact me really, even in the slightest. But
and everything y'all are still doing Zoom.
At this moment, yes. I don't. I've asked some questions in the last week about, hey, can we? What's up? Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we not do this? And to this point, the league has not allowed for a change in that regard, because that appears to actually be a league requirement. That's not a Ole Miss cannot do anything individually about that. But yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I mean, Wednesday night there were already, and I guess technically at 5:00 the mask could have been taken off. That's when the order went into effect. So like Wednesday night, I did not notice many masks around the stadium for the most part that I could tell.
I've noticed around town in the last
48 hours.
48 hours. I went to Kroger yesterday, and I went
There's still masks.
Yeah, but
okay.
There were more people who were being defiant with their mask. I don't have a mask in here. Usually I have a mask. I'll pretend this is a mask for the people who can see on the stream. Okay. The mask is supposed to cover the whole deal.
Sure.
There were a whole lot of masks down here.
Oh, really?
At Kroger. There were masks down here, and
it was around.
It was there where you're like, hey, I'm wearing a mask, but I'm not really wearing a mask. And I noticed there wasn't, and I feel very bad for the Kroger people. You get hired at a grocery store, being mask security was not part of the job description.
No.
No one's enforcing it. I saw some people walking around Kroger without a mask at all. I saw one woman in particular was without a mask, and then a few minutes later she sort of had a mask on. So I didn't know whether she just pulled one out or whether someone said something to her. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I do think for that will be a little bit of a way of life for a while, as a lot of people, even if they are not wanting to continue to wear one or legally have to, potentially keeping one in your pocket or around you in case you do walk into a place where it is required. I mean, I think that it becomes a part of your person a little bit. But yeah, you mentioned Kroger. I mean, a national rule versus local enforcement are two completely different things, and that does create a strange deal there.
I walked into Social.
Okay.
I go to several. There's two liquor stores in town that I frequent pretty often. I like them both.
Sure.
But I went into social yesterday because I was on that side of town, and I had my mask on walking through the door because I noticed a couple other people going in with their masks on. And so I'm like, okay, well, I got to wear a mask,
Sure.
whatever. And I put it on, and I noticed the signage is off, which was sign 1.
Yeah, sure.
And I walked in, and the employees weren't wearing them. And I was like, I don't have to. And I'm like, yes. I don't know why. It was like it felt so liberating. It was like
You felt weird almost?
No.
It didn't feel weird?
No,
Okay.
it felt normal. It felt good.
That's what I mean. But I mean, there was
Sure. Oh, yeah,
thing.
no,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm asking.
I'll freely admit I'm claustrophobic. I don't like being trapped in the back of a car. And so when people talk about the mask doesn't impact you or whatever, yeah, it does. You don't breathe as well with a mask over your face as you do without a mask on your face. That's when people tell me, oh, there's no difference. Of course there's a difference. Well, you could run a 10K with an N95. All right, go do it. Hop on. I'm gonna run right next to you without one. You run with one. Let's see who's laboring a little bit because of the stupid mask. You tell me.
No, I cannot. I still cannot sub the fries for the chips. That's an impossibility. I especially can't now because all the food's individually packaged. So I have no special request ordering capabilities anymore at this point.
Oh, that's right, because it's all prepackaged.
Yeah, I mean, you're
At Arkansas, they brought me this box, and I was like, I don't want it. I'm like, we have to give it to you.
I was really hungry, and I'm trying to not miss fried food, so I got a burger to just eat the burger, not the fries. But it came together in a styrofoam container with the fries and the burger and all in there.
Pretty fresh.
I didn't eat the fries, but they felt a touch hard potentially, and they were.
You don't think
they might have been under a lamp for a minute? I don't know.
You don't think the potato had died that day?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No. That's the guess. No. So no. As far as I'm aware, if you get a burger, you get the fries. If you get the barbecue, you get the chips. That remains a rule. So it is what it is.
Okay.
$1 hot dog night during the midweek though, so I could technically get 12 hot dogs. I would like to do that.
Oh yeah.
I could.
You could.
Look like an idiot.
Skip Bayless 06 is mad at us right now. We're not talking sports. He wants his sports.
Okay.
Stick to sports.
I am talking sports. Baseball stadium.
Stick to sports.
So yeah, I don't know. Swayze will have more people in it this week than last week, but I don't know. I mean, I think it will look fairly similar to a normal non-conference weekend. It's gonna be cold, but the weather's pretty good. Weather's really good tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little chilly tonight.
Yeah, it gets down into the 40s, which really means high 20s, low 30s tonight. But
So you and Brian Scott Rippey are doing a podcast that I suspect will be pretty baseball centric.
we'll do a good bit of baseball. I actually kind of want to talk to him about going back to a 9-to-5 job and what that's like. Because I mean, I can't imagine sitting in an office for 9 hours a day at this point. Like, I've got some human element, but yeah, I mean, we're going to end up talking some baseball and golf because we talk baseball and golf. I don't know.
So give the 30,000-foot version of
baseball.
The baseball weekend. It's Ole Miss versus Belmont. It's a 3-game series.
That's correct. Belmont is, I had it pulled up, 3-2 on the season. They are an Ohio Valley team. They beat North Alabama 5-1, so maybe already better than the Rebels there. And then they split a couple with Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky, is that the Norsemen? What is their mascot?
That sounds right.
Are they the Norsemen?
Yeah.
And then they split 2 with Creighton, winning 3-2, losing 9-3. I don't know. It's Belmont. Ole Miss had a good midweek. They played 2 bad teams in the midweek, but they did what they're supposed to do. They took walks when they were there. They hit the baseball. I mean, Jackson State was Jackson State, but whatever. They won a couple going away. You know, you'd hope they kind of can settle now. Not really even confidence back because, look, kids are too smart for that. They know they played Memphis and Jackson State, and they played 2 inferior opponents. But just getting the taste out, trying to settle, there's a point where you got to kind of get into the season a little bit. And for Ole Miss, you hope they're kind of into the season where there's not that emotional swing up and down. You just kind of play baseball for a little while. So injury updates, Trey LaFleur had a tweaked hamstring. He is available this weekend. He could have played on Wednesday, and they just held him out because there was no reason. Peyton Chatney is still out this weekend. My assumption is he plays in Ruston and then SEC play. But that's literally just my assumption, but I think I'm probably right there. And
how excited are they to go to Ruston? They're pumped, aren't they?
Really pumped about it. Yeah, I mean, Doug was telling me last week that it's what he circled on the calendar.
Yeah. I get it.
Johnny's Pizza was sticking out. They were discussing that. Maybe
it's amazing pizza,
something like that. So yeah, they're pumped. New ballpark.
Go to Counterculture, get some of the yogurt, put some Reese's Pieces in it.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. Counterculture.
Oh, it's good.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
I'll make a trip to Counterculture while I'm there.
Really?
Absolutely. I'm saving a cheat day for Rustin.
For pizza and yogurt?
Pretty much.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. But you won't eat anything else all day?
Probably not.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll go find a place to run.
What's the
miles.
pizza? Like, what do you get?
Sausage and jalapeno.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's your favorite anyway.
Yeah, well, from there, it's just total nostalgia.
It's your version of Pizza
just
Hut with
dripping, and
and
exactly.
oil and nostalgia.
Yep.
Grease.
Just let it just run down my soul.
Okay, sure. So yeah, I don't know. Mike announced on Wednesday that Hudson, Sapp, and Kemp Alderman are redshirting. I got a lot of questions about this. This season for baseball does actually count. They're not getting this year back. That was last year that baseball got back, not this year. So a little different.
Because at some point you.
I mean, we gotta move.
Yeah.
And now look, in people's defense though, Kemp Alderman's a top 100 kid. It is shocking when that kid redshirts. I mean, that is a viable storyline as this moves forward. Mike said, look, he could get some midweek at-bats. We could get him in some games, but we do not think he's at the point of getting major at-bats. And at that point, you're taking away from somebody else. You're wasting the year.
And they think he can play down the road.
Yeah, and the year, I don't disagree. I understand it. My only disagreement is baseball players don't stay 5 years hardly anyway. So what?
Well, here's the deal. If you do it for baseball, you got to do it for softball. And if you do it for softball, you got to do it for women's tennis.
No. My point is just redshirting him in general. Like, why not just give him the at-bats? Because he's probably not hanging around 5 anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's –
and if he's the type who's going to hang around 5, he's probably going to play 5 somewhere else.
Yes, I'm saying. So, I mean, 15 years ago, you did have some fifth-year guys hanging around, but that doesn't really happen in college baseball much anymore. That's changed. So – I don't know. That's something to kind of watch. I'm not overly shocked per se, but I'm shocked at maybe how they're going about it. I would have thought they would have just gotten him in wherever they could get him in and kind of see where it was going. But yeah, that's the 30,000 feet view. I mean, there's nothing.
Couple of questions in the thread. Drew wants to know: could he walk up tomorrow and get a ticket?
Is he a student or a regular person?
I'm going to guess he's a regular person. I
think so, but I'm. Caveat it.
Okay.
I think they're doing walk-up tickets, but I'm not 100%. They typically have been doing walk-up tickets.
And then Doors Rule wants to know, we've already answered it, so I'll answer this for you. I'll let you catch breath. He says, do you guys get to interview the coach and players now after the game? No. Yes, but on a Zoom.
Yeah.
You can't talk to them in person. They can be surrounded by thousands and thousands of human beings while they play, and the virus won't do anything. But if they were surrounded by individuals talking to them with phones as recorders, I mean, there's no telling.
Cesspools.
There's no telling what havoc the virus would wreak in that situation.
Yeah. So, Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, DeSoto County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. You're getting local underwriting. Understands your market. Leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704. Or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
Just, I'm a couple of texts away from.
If he throws something in a minute, just let it go. It's fine.
I mean, I'm being tested today. That's what's happening. I'm a higher power is testing me to see what my limits are, and we're getting there.
Are you getting close?
We're getting close fast. We're also brought to you by Layman's Fine Jewelry. They're located at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. Layman'sFineJewelry.com or 662-234-2777. Are you ready to play at M-Trade Park? Registration has started for both youth baseball and softball with the Oxford Park Commission. Cost to play both sports is $50 per player. Leagues available 5 to 14 in softball, 5 to 17 in baseball. May 24th through July the 2nd is the season this year. The deadline to register is April the 4th, so visit oxfordparkcommission.com to sign up. Also brought to you by Muddy Water Camo, muddywateroutdoors.com. Get that Tri-Zone heated jacket or vest and get another one free. Get the My Charge battery, portable battery charger, and get another one free there at muddywateroutdoors.com. Also have a lot of other stuff there that fantastic caps and shirts, all sorts of camo gear. Everything's there at Muddy Water. We're also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, the name you can trust. They have more than 50 years of professional HVAC experience in Oxford, Tupelo, and the surrounding area. 801-1777 for all your heating and cooling needs. Zach and I, here in just a little while, are going to tape a soft verbal. It's brought to you by the College Corner. It's one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area, one next to Fleet Feet in Ridgeland and one next to Half Shell in Flowood. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com. We've got a Mind on My Money that's up today. We talked about the stock market struggling a little bit. We talked about interest rates rising a little bit. I thought about my friend Mr. Parham when we talked about the interest rates. And we talked about the genius of Ted Lasso. So if any of that interests you, it's about 35 minutes. I think it was a really good podcast. You'll like it. It's brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. It's pintrust.com, P-I-N-N trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fees.
Podcast is brought to you by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Some different dates for you. The Southern Foodways Alliance Spring Symposium, March 13th and 14th for that. The Oxford Film Festival, March 24th to 28th. And then the Oxford Conference for the book. That's March 8th through 12th coming up here pretty soon this week. Bus tours, you can call Visit Oxford and make reservations for those Fridays at 3 and 4 p.m. It's home baseball weekend, Fridays, March 19th, April 9th, April 23rd, 30th, May 7th and 14th, and then tunes around town, 5 to 7. You know, that is Saturdays at various locations around the square with music. You can walk around, listen to different acts. March 20th, April 10th, April 24th, May 1st, and May 8th. The hot dogs are not overly large. I mean, I definitely wouldn't want to eat 12 in one sitting, but I guess gun to my head, I think I could, but I mean, you'd feel like crap after. I think it's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable.
It's doable.
It would suck.
I'm not a big
I'm not either.
hot dog person in general. And
but here's the problem.
Not the
if you're eating
boiled
12, are you doctoring them up, though?
I would at least want mustard on them, I think.
Yeah, you got to have mustard. But are you putting relish? And
No.
Too much relish.
I mean, I don't... like, you wouldn't want to put chili on it or something.
Oh, God, no.
I guess you could put some little onion and some relish because you're trying to mask the taste of.
And you might even get to where you need more. Do you doctor them more as you go? Are you doctoring 10, 11 different than you doctored 2 and 3?
Probably. I don't think I could eat 12 hot dogs.
Do you not?
I'm just thinking about it. I don't. You think you could?
I think. I mean, I don't want to try. I'm not going to try. But, I think so. I mean, what's your food if I told you had to participate in an eating competition? What are you picking?
Wings.
Okay. Street tacos, maybe?
Yeah.
I think I could hang around for a minute at least.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was hungry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Wings, street tacos, pizza.
Oh, see, I have no chance. I don't like pizza enough.
If you told me that the hot dogs were grilled,
that would change the game a little.
I'd have a better shot at it. The boiled hot dog wiener is not my thing.
You think those are boiled? I think they've been expertly prepped.
I'm gonna guess they've been boiled and
and chilled and rewarmed potentially.
Yeah, there's nothing positive about it.
Would the heat get to you on the wings eventually, or would you need a pretty mild
I'd have to go with the milder.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't need like honey barbecue.
I could do that.
Okay.
Something like that, just the mild buffalo wing. And Daniel says he could do 6, but I might could pull off 6.
I think Suss had 6 the other night. He was bored and just whatever for a minute. I think he had 6.
I don't know that I've ever been that bored.
Yeah. Kenneth Morgan, thank you for the super chat. He wants you to rant. I mean, you have one, but probably better that we not do that today.
I've got one.
Just a hunch.
I've got one just dying to come out, but it wouldn't. It'd make me feel better, but it wouldn't serve everybody else.
It wouldn't help everybody else associated.
No.
At this point.
And not at this point. We're this close to a finish line. Just get there.
Some basketball roster moves.
Yeah, so Ole Miss Vanderbilt tomorrow at 6. There is some news building up to it. I'm working on a story about the game and Devontae and what.
50%, by the way, for that. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. 50% attendance allowed. So if you haven't been to a game and you want to go to a game, there'll be a game. Baseball should be done by then.
Mm-hmm.
If baseball's not done by then, the game's too damn long. I mean, if they're still playing baseball at 6 o'clock.
They're in the 17th inning or something ridiculous.
Somebody walked 400 people, at which point there should be mercy thrown at something.
Fair.
I mean, I'm not being anti anything, but if Ole Miss Belmont's going into its 5th hour,
we have a problem.
There's a problem.
I was proud of the mercy rule the other night on Wednesday. It was 10 after 7.
Yeah. Oh, I'm for that.
Well, in the league, they don't do that.
That's fine, but in these games,
Auburn didn't do that with Alabama A&M the other night. They beat them 33-3 or whatever it was.
That's Auburn's fault.
That's on you.
Yeah. I mean, don't you have to send a little courier pigeon over in the 4th inning that goes, hey,
you want 7, right?
You want to save a couple innings too, right?
Yeah. You got to get some bats.
I mean,
got to get some work in. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Basketball, go ahead.
So the news is not really news. So let's go through this.
You expected this.
Every single bit of it.
Okay.
Devontae Shuler is not returning for a 5th year. No one thought that he would.
Okay, go ahead.
Romello White's not returning for a 5th year of college basketball. No one thought that he would.
Okay, stop there.
Okay.
Do you anticipate Devontae or Romello playing college basketball next season?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I think they'll both pursue professional outlets quickly.
Okay.
So they will be ineligible to play college basketball. Sure. And I think, frankly, both of them are professional players. Overseas probably, but professional players.
Okay.
Hadim C is transferring, or Hadim C and Demencio Vaughn have left the program for personal reasons.
Presently, they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah. They will not participate in senior night.
And I think that's why that came out, is because they weren't going to be at senior night, which was going to lead to questions about where are they. So Kermit did the right thing from a PR standpoint, which is to get out ahead of it, because it's coming. So you get out ahead of it. I'm not surprised by either one of those developments. Hadim has not played much at all this season. Injuries, COVID. Romello took his minutes. Demencio Vaughn was brought in to be a 3-and-D guy, and he did not provide either. For whatever reason, that
never worked.
Did not work at all. Any. I don't know. It's one of the things at the end of this season, and we're not at the end of the season yet. There's a lot of people that are kind of doing end-of-season stuff, and I'm like, but the season's not over. But that's okay. I mean, write what you want to write. Say what you want to talk about, what you want to talk about. I'm just kind of not there yet. And then today, I think news that hit a lot of people who don't follow basketball day in and day out. Sean Robinson's in the transfer portal.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sean Robinson in the transfer portal, which is not surprising. He couldn't get on the floor on this team. Now, here's the part where there is no spin. This is an evaluation mistake.
He was billed as a dude.
They brought him in to be a dude, and he was never a dude. It did not work. Did they rush him? Did the people? When I say they, I don't mean Ole Miss necessarily, but the people around him. Would he have benefited from playing another year of high school basketball? I don't know. We'll never know now. He wasn't ready to play last year. He wasn't ready to play this year. So that's a lot of turnover already. I expect Dude Collum's going to go into the transfer portal. I've heard some specificity there. So now we're at 6. Shuler, White, C, Vaughn, Robinson, Collum. There's a couple of other names. I don't know what's going to happen.
And you anticipate the transfer portal guys to leave, none of them to back out of it.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a major roster overhaul. They've got 3 guys signed. So right now they have at least 3 and probably 4 and maybe 5 spots available. That is a bunch. That is monumental turnover.
It's a problem because, frankly, everybody else is trying to get guys out of the transfer portal too, and there aren't that many D1 players.
Right.
I mean, at some point, you have too many spots available.
You're going to hear Jamin Brakefield rumors about him leaving Duke. I don't know whether Jamin Brakefield's ever going to be at Ole Miss or if he is a
white whale.
Or if he is going to be the basketball version of Ronte Langs. For years, it's a Cub joke I'm going to do for a minute. For years, the Cubs were linked. Remember Brian Roberts, the shortstop for the Orioles?
Yeah.
Brian Roberts was linked to the Cubs every offseason for like 4 years in a row. And when he retired, I was in this Cubs chat thing for years and years. When Brian Roberts' career ended, we're all like, well, we'll miss former Cub Brian Roberts. Brakefield's been linked to Ole Miss for so long that I don't know whether it's just almost habit now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know, but look, at least 6 spots, maybe more. That is a ton. I don't know. Now, that's happening at a lot of places. It's not an indictment on Kermit and his staff or whatever, but going into year 4, depending on what happens. So to sort of wrap up the basketball portion of the podcast, they play Vanderbilt tomorrow night. Vanderbilt beat Cincinnati handedly last night. Vanderbilt's actually playing fairly well. Ole Miss will have to play well to win tomorrow. If it does, it's going to be seeded 5, 6, or 7, depending on what happens with Missouri. I think who does Missouri play? Missouri plays LSU. And Tennessee plays Florida.
That's correct.
Those are the games that matter for a seeding standpoint. Ole Miss could finish as low as 7, even with beating Vanderbilt.
Because of Missouri,
could finish as high as 5. If Missouri loses and Tennessee loses and Ole Miss wins, Ole Miss is the 5.
Yeah, I've learned from baseball seeding in Hoover, 1 fewer win, 1 fewer loss is a better winning percentage than the alternative.
And so because of COVID, everybody has not played the same amount of games. They'll play in the tournament on Thursday. So if you told me that Ole Miss wins on Saturday and then wins on Thursday in the tournament, I would tell you that based on where they are today, their their net is 56. Lenardi has them listed as one of the next 4 out.
Next 4.
The bubble is so freaking bad.
So they're 5-8 right now.
Yeah.
With Lenardi.
If you told me that they won 2 more games, I would tell you that Friday game, which would probably be against
LSU.
Probably Arkansas, LSU, or Florida, not in that order.
Okay.
That's probably who you would play. If you told me that they played that game on Friday in Nashville, I would tell you that, hey, that's probably a play-in game.
Yeah.
Because winning that game would give you a neutral site win over a top 30 net team. And given how crappy the bubble is, that probably would do it for you.
Yeah.
Anything shy of that? Not only you're not getting in, you don't deserve to get in. I mean, there's no complaint.
No.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose to Vanderbilt, it's over. You got to win the tournament. And if you lose on Thursday in Nashville, you're not getting in. And if you play a play-in game on Friday against, say, LSU, and you lose by 16, what are you going to argue? We should be in the tournament? No. I mean, so. But if you were to, say, play LSU or Arkansas or Florida and win that game on a neutral site, I think you could start when someone said, hey, Kermit, do you think this puts you in? I think a really good answer from him would be, I don't know, I hope so, but I think we have a case. Sure. And here's our case.
Yeah.
Without that, I don't know that he can say that with a straight face.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you in part by Northeast Spark. That's SPARC. Service people across rural communities. 2 packages, the Ignite 100 Mbps or the Blaze powers the Clark Ford studio. It is 1 gig. Your hometown team bring you world-class broadband. NESpark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone service available as well as parental controls, network security, and more. Find out if it's in your area, if it can be installed, and if so, use it for great internet. Again, NESpark.com. 662-238-3159.
We're also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're thinking about traveling, whether it's this summer or the holidays or whenever, get in touch with John. He can put together packages that you can't do on your own. He's putting one together for me right now just for fun that I don't even know that we'll do or not, and it's amazing. So he can do that for you as well. You don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. Also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's Grenada, NissanUSA.com. Brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. You also get Kasasa. It's the absolute best cash checking account. And with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers up to 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000. And ATM fees are refunded nationwide. To learn more about OUB, it's liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
So, from the thread, how many pickles could you eat at one time?
Ooh, not many.
I really like pickles, but at some point,
like the big pickle where you're biting the spears.
Sure, whatever.
Not many.
I like the zesty ones, even maybe like the big whole one.
I like dill.
You put pickles on burgers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not against the pickle?
No, I like the sandwich dill pickle.
The chips?
Yeah, that's about my speed.
Okay. But you don't like what? That's not a snack for you.
No.
You don't get pickles.
No.
Gets you something to do, and it's like 0 calories or close to it.
Yeah, I know.
I'd
rather just have a water.
You don't think there's something to chewing? You don't think mentally?
No, the pickle does nothing for me.
I don't mean the pickle, but just in general, it's not water. Like, I understand drink water because a lot of times you're thirsty, not hungry. You're a little dehydrated.
Yeah.
But you don't think there's something like mentally that if you chew, you're more likely to be full than if you drink? Because you're like actively.
Never really thought about
even
it.
Even like gum, I think. I don't chew gum really, but.
I'll chew gum when I'm driving just because I'm bored.
Really?
Yeah. Blow bubbles and stuff.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You get like bubble gum?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Not like Trident or something?
No, like Bubblicious or.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Like real bubble gum?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
That's fun.
Big League Chew back in the day?
Oh, absolutely.
Strawberry or grape?
Grape.
Okay. You actually prefer the weird grape artificial flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You like it?
Yeah. Grape Jolly Rancher, the best.
Is it grapes that we had that discussion on the podcast that, because you could argue grape artificial flavor tastes the least like the actual fruit of anything.
Right.
But I found something, I think we talked about this on the podcast, but we talked so much that I don't remember, that there used to be a different variety or strain of the grape a long time ago when the flavoring was created. And actually it was very similar to that, but that the grapes we get have changed in flavor profile, and it's part of the reason why it doesn't taste anything like the artificial flavor.
Huh.
I could have sworn I saw that somewhere.
I believe you.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway.
Because I don't really like I can eat grapes, but I don't ever.
And see, I'm the opposite. I'll snack on grapes all the time, but I will never do the artificial grape flavor.
Really?
For the most part. No. I'd rather have strawberry on the artificial flavor.
I like this.
I do like new grape, though. I haven't had one since a kid, but like the drink, the grape soda.
Oh, it's good.
It's fine. Grape soda or orange soda?
Orange soda.
Orange. Oh, yeah, you're the Sunkist.
Man.
That's probably one of the best reasons you don't go to Hoover anymore, is they have the Sunkist on tap.
Had it on tap, and I'd pass by it. It's like a damn drug. I was walking around drinking Sunkist for a week. Why am I gaining 4 pounds? I didn't eat.
The amount, the media in general eat and drink soda and all constantly anyway, but the amount of Sunkist and dill pickle flavored chips they would go through in Hoover.
It's crazy.
Everybody went crazy for the dill pickle Golden Flake.
Yeah, I had to just leave that table alone.
At least you had to walk down the hall into the other area for the ice cream. It wasn't.
Isn't that funny? There. I didn't even know there was ice cream. Ice cream does nothing. Ice cream does nothing for me. But you tell me there's some potato chips somewhere, I'm like, damn.
Or the orange soda.
And you tell me there's orange soda. You might as well tell Les Miles there's some co-eds down the street.
Oh, speaking of, it's getting worse by the day.
Getting worse by the hour
for Leslie Miles. Is it Is it Lester? Leslie?
I don't know.
What does Les stand for?
I don't know.
I don't either. Ross Dellinger got a lot of stuff on it in the last 20 minutes, and I haven't read it, but just by judging, it looks bad. I don't know. the report has come out from the investigative arm or whatnot.
Oh, I see this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna.
From the Hush Blackwell report, that's the firm that LSU hired to do it. The first student,
his name was Hush.
Husch.
Correct. Yes.
The first student worker to alleged wrongdoing
Sharon Lewis
with Miles was, quote, completely traumatized.
Had a mental breakdown and received mental health treatment that LSU athletics paid for.
Lewis's report speaks for itself, but among the allegations leveled is that after losing the 2012 national championship game, Miles attempted to sexualize the staff of student workers in the football program by, for instance, allegedly demanding that he wanted, quote, and again, quote, these are Les Miles' words, not mine, quote, blondes with the big boobs, end quote, and, quote, pretty girls, end quote. According to Lewis, he also allegedly took a more direct role in the hiring of those student workers. This account was corroborated by several witnesses.
This one's interesting. So on June 21st, 2013, Joe Oliva, then LSU athletic director, God, he had 9 lives, hung around forever, sent the following email to counsel and incoming LSU president F. King Alexander. So this is the AD sending other people an email. Quote, okay. Bob and King, thanks for the call today. I love how the guy, by the way, his first initial is F, but he goes by King. I mean, really, you're just getting a head start.
Is this F. King Alexander?
Yeah. Bob and King, thanks for the call today. One more time, I want us to think about which scenario is worse for LSU. Explaining why we let him go, explaining why we let him stay. Proactive or reactive. I always believe that people are innocent until proven guilty, and in this case, I believe he is guilty of insubordination, inappropriate behavior, putting the university athletic department and football program at great risk. I think we have cause. I specifically told him not to text, call, or be alone with any student workers, and he obviously didn't listen. I think there are many possible outcomes and much risk either way, but I believe it's in the best interest in the long run to make a break. The court of public opinion would favor us. The courtroom, on July 2nd, we will know more, but the facts will remain the same. Thanks. So in 2013, Joe Oliva recommending to fire Les Miles based off those things.
I've said this before about here. And what Hugh Freeze is alleged to have done is nowhere close to this.
Oh, not
even close. But I thought,
and that's what's going to be funny about this is Miles will not. Do you think he'll be the same national punchline?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
Worse.
Okay. I think so too. I'm
Worse.
just posing the question for podcast purposes.
I thought Ole Miss probably could have fired Hugh Freeze with cause.
And if that was the case, then this is a
no-brainer. If he is still the coach at Kansas, it's 11:26 a.m. If he's still the head coach at Kansas at 1 p.m., shame on them.
But will he be?
No, he's going to get fired.
Oh, you think today?
Yeah. He can run for governor of New York.
Now LSU is implementing a bunch of changes, though. So.
Well, okay, so let's have this conversation because I said this on SEC Football and Beyond this morning. Sure. I'll repeat it here to get your reaction because you and Chris are different-mannered people.
Okay.
It would have taken some real stones, fortitude, whatever the word you want to use, okay? Because there's a segment of every fan base, and you know this to be true.
Sure. I know where you're going.
I don't care what he does as long as we win.
Right.
So when you fire a coach who's winning, and LSU was winning in 2013.
Yeah, that's what I was pulling up is their last couple of seasons.
When you fire a coach who's a year removed from losing a national championship, not that far removed from winning one, putting together big-time recruiting classes, when you fire that coach for cause, for being a bad person, a lot of your fan base loses its mind.
Okay, so they had like the game of the century team in 11 that lost to Alabama in the national title game. And then in 12, they went 10-2 or 10-3. They played in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. They're good. I mean,
sure. They're recruiting at a really high level at this point, though.
And this would have been going into the 13 season.
Uh-huh. He was pretty popular back then.
Oh, he was really popular. The whole grass.
Eating grass. Lovable Les. Everybody loved him.
Yeah, ESPN's writing the big, he goes to the pizza restaurant and does this and talks about his kid. You know, help. You got to remember now, back then, the story around Les Miles was all the stories about his kids and all the family atmosphere he put in the offices in Baton Rouge. It was, hey, tell the coaches that the families are welcome. The kids are playing on the practice field. The wives come by and have dinner on the way home. Like all of that kind of stuff. It was a focus of that program at the time.
But here's the part, Chase. Here's the part.
Yep.
Really gets me. Maybe this is because of where I am in my station in life at this point. Middle-aged guy with 2 daughters who are Campbell's close to 20. Caroline, what's today? The 5th. Caroline turns 18 a week from tomorrow. They're both tall and fit, attractive. When they go to work in your department, they're human beings. Mm-hmm. So when you're like, hey, get the blonde ones with the big boobs. Well, at what point did somebody not go, we used to have a hand raise guy. Where in the hell was hand raise guys that go, whoa, no. This isn't a prostitution ring here. Yeah. We're not hiring people. And I get tired of it. You know this. You and I have had this conversation for a long time. When guys are like, yeah, those student recruiters. All those student recruiters are not there to sleep with prospective football players. They're just not. A lot of them are there because they are interested in getting into athletics.
And they're kids.
And they're young people. And you are, as an adult, inside that athletics program, charged with protecting them. You are.
Mm-hmm. No, I think my point is that the public outcry would be even more in LSU's favor than maybe recently thought, because they had gone so far this way publicly that when it's over here in reality, I think you could have.
So they see that he has a condo. Here's a guy with a multi-million. He was the highest paid employee in the state of Louisiana at the time. Okay, making $4.5 million at the time, which is at the time was a ton of money. Yeah, sure. It's still a ton of money. Give me $4.5 million and I'm good. I'm what do they call the kids say? Gucci. I'm good. $4.5 million. Got a house. He's got all this stuff. They knew it was a problem. They knew he was a problem. They knew that he was, quote, mentoring some of these girls by, hey, put an alias in my phone and in my burner, and I'll use an alias on yours, and we can mentor at my condo. And then when these girls came to people, and they told people this happened, and no one did anything for them. Everyone there who was there has to go. This is institutional control.
100%.
This goes beyond buying a squad of Dodge vehicles for your football team.
And it's the ridiculous part of this is the NCAA wants to talk about all these things, but they've been completely, for the most part, you've had to really push them to get involved in these type of matters.
They don't want to go there.
No, they won't go. Institutional control to them has to be recruit-based and not program-based. And this is much worse than recruit-based. My God.
And then I'll tell you this. In every one of these programs around the country today, when you get through reading it and going, oh, whoa, look at that, whoa, you better have a meeting in your own department. What are we doing to make sure this isn't happening here? Mm-hmm. Because everything that I'm reading about LSU, has anything shocked you yet, Chase?
Oh, no.
Not even a little bit.
No.
Everything you're reading about could happen here, Mississippi State, Auburn, Florida, Clemson, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, name your school. Everything that's happening there could have happened at your place. Are you protecting the young people that are around your program? You've seen it. I've seen it at Ole Miss where people sexualize the student recruiters.
Sure.
In a way that's really uncomfortable. Les Miles just verbalized it. He said it out loud. It's disgusting. I mean, those are young people. He's saying that about 19, 20-year-old girls.
No, I think this is a valid question. They've always kind of gotten a pass for a lot of reasons. We talk about Baylor, Michigan, Penn State, whomever, just kind of playing around.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State. There's the argument that, frankly, LSU is the most turn-your-stomach program in the country from an athletics program standpoint right now. Will Wade's your basketball coach.
Yeah.
You got the Les Miles stuff.
Well, the Orgeron stuff.
Yeah, they get kind of crazy Cajun pass a little, but
It's more than fair. Yeah. Oh, there should be serious ramifications here. Frankly, and I know this is somewhat hyperbolic, but from a program standpoint, they should be cratered right now. They should be forced to remake themselves.
mm-hmm.
Now, with the resources they have, it wouldn't take them that long, but that's exactly what should happen. Nobody should survive this.
So what will actually happen?
I don't know. In today's environment, I don't know.
I can't decide what I think.
If you told me that it got really bad, I'd buy it. If you told me that nothing happened, I'd buy it. What are the politics involved? How is LSU viewed? Is LSU viewed as right or left? I mean, all that stuff factors in.
Is the NCAA willing to get involved in this?
Do reporters want this story?
Yeah. You answered that question. In Louisiana, do they?
No.
Okay. I mean, Will Wade's been given a pass down there.
The question will be, will national guys go want this story? Mark Emmert's tied in with Mark Emmert's got some sway. Scott Woodward wasn't there when all of this happened. So Scott Woodward could conceivably rise above it and just swing the axe.
And survive it.
And I think if he did that, he would survive it. And I would even say, hey, he should survive it.
Yeah, sure.
Now they should get hammered. They should get hammered. You can't do these kinds of things. This is going to be my defense of Ole Miss. You can't come down on Ole Miss the way that the NCAA came down on Ole Miss. Looking at the list of things that Ole Miss did. You can't come down on Ole Miss and go, but who at Ole Miss was actually harmed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Where was the harm? If you're on a civil, let's make the Ole Miss case a criminal case for a moment.
Sure.
All right, you committed offenses. You're guilty. Here's your sentence. Now let's put it in the court of civil. What are the damages? Who really got damaged at Ole Miss? I'd argue maybe nobody.
Yeah. No.
Maybe nobody? What advantage did you gain? None. Leo Lewis played at Mississippi State.
I mean, frankly, the only civil, and all jokes aside, the only civil would be defamation of character for Lindsey Miller.
He'd have a case.
That'd be it.
That'd be it. I would recommend that he hire an attorney
and not represent
from
himself.
outside counsel to represent him in that deal.
Yeah.
But in this, who's hurt? Oh, boy, there's a lot of damage. There's real damage, significant damage. If this was in a civil court, and one day, Chase, it probably will be, we're talking millions of dollars of damages. Yeah, the NCAA should absolutely level them. Will they? I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm going to take our final break in a second, but this is interesting. So Brody Miller, he's been throwing out a ton of stuff from this report. Quoting a page here, so we'll figure out who's talking. His tweet is the damning statement from one longtime member of the LSU football staff on the culture in the building and the desire to, quote, protect LSU football. Perhaps better than any organizational psychologist could, one longtime football staff member made a number of insightful remarks about some of the damage created by this episode on the culture of the athletics department. Quote, it just baffles me, though, that for so long they went on, and that kind of became the normal, right? And you just don't talk about it. You don't say anything. You don't kind of go, because we're protecting LSU, we're protecting our brand, we're protecting our head coach, we're protecting this. We love LSU, so we're going to be loyal to LSU. So we're going to do what we can to try to help and fix it. But, nobody wants a big blow-up to the where, oh, there's a big scandal, I always felt like we always had to be protective, You want to protect LSU. You don't want there to be any big blow-up scandal or, much less anything like that, right? I felt like maybe if the university had done more when the first child, and that's a good word there, had happened, maybe that would have helped clean up a lot of the other stuff. Maybe he wouldn't have happened further down the line with not just him, with even players and anything like that. You keep forgetting there's all that player stuff at LSU as well. Because sometimes if people see somebody getting in trouble and it's made a big deal out of, they're not as apt to go, well, I can keep doing that because nobody gets in trouble around here. Even the head coach didn't get in trouble for doing it. So we didn't set a very good precedent by not handling the stuff the way we did. This has allowed things to happen since then that maybe might not have, if something it would have been stopped and, maybe made an example out of, it wouldn't have happened past that. So that's from a staffer inside the building there.
It says to think that was almost normal for us, and because we had been involved in that so long, until you step back and look at it and go, my God, what were we doing, you know? But that's how the progression it came to. It just became normal, which is sick now that you think about it. The fact that became normal to us was crazy, you know? Mm-hmm. But it was always like nobody ever really wanted to rock the boat. And then poor Sharon, though. I mean, like I said, she had most of the brunt of it because she was over the girls. We were so beat down and caught up in that mess, we didn't realize how bad we were. You know, that's what upsets me. Holy.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that a minute. How did that happen? And there are people that happened that are still there, and they have to be gone by the end of the day.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Surely than most of them are. So.
I don't know.
Podcast brought to you in part by Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. You can still pick up immune support med packs, pharmacist-delivered combinations of vitamins and supplements designed to boost your immune system and lung health. 30-day supplies of vitamin Z, zinc, NAC, probiotic, and vitamin D3, as well as free delivery in the Oxford area. And MedSync fills your prescription the same day each month to take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery, and you get all the medicines you need when you need it. So, again, you can find them in Holly Springs or in Oxford, 662-236-0222.
We're also brought to you by Alpha Specialties, located at 1670 Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. They're your trailer-specific professional. They can do pretty much anything you want. They got load trail. They also have Hallmark cargo trailers. They've got all types of truck accessories. They also have 10% off a yearly trailer service and inspection at Alpha's full-service shop. They can repair all types of trailers. So give them a call, 601-932-9798, or check them out at alphaofms.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about Alpha on the MPW Digital Network of Podcasts. Also brought to you by Blue Delta Jeans. They make the best-fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand-tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi. One size fits one at BlueDeltaJeans.com. Blue Delta's been advertising with us for more than 2 years. We've always directed you to direct message them to set up a time to get measured. But now, whether you're coming to Oxford or not, you can visit BlueDeltaJeans.com to get measured by their new virtual tailor and design your very own jeans. And just for our podcast listeners, enter the discount code Rebel Grove. That's one word, all lowercase. At checkout, take 10% off your order. They're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I know Chase feels the same way, and you will too. It's BlueDeltaJeans.com. We're also brought to you by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylist hand-select pieces from top designers, from pretty much everything you're looking for, from work to lifestyle to nightlife. There's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, Duckhead, True Grit, and more. 4450 I-55 North in Jackson. It's truly a special place to shop, or you can go to therogue.com.
Seeing here that no spread yet for Vanderbilt and Ole Miss tomorrow. Just looking for odds. This is interesting. Vanderbilt 8-14 overall, but they're 11-8 against the spread. 11-8-3.
Played really good lately.
Pippen back?
I'm not sure. I didn't even look to see if he played last night.
Okay.
It's been a day.
Washington has released Alex Smith. I think everybody knew that was coming. But
Yeah.
that's happened. Credit to him. I mean, some bitch, but you just hope nothing happens where he can't continue to walk and play with his kids.
If I'm him, it's easy for me to say, but if I'm him, I'll walk away. He's got a beautiful young family.
Got a lot of money.
He's got lots of money. He's got his health. He has the peace of mind of knowing I went back and I did it. I did something that everybody told me I couldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Might be time to.
Good-looking guy, smart guy, could do TV.
Let's
go enjoy your wife and kids. He's got a gorgeous family. Just go be a dad.
Bree still hadn't done anything, has he? He's like pushing weight around parking lots.
You know what I think?
He's going to retire. Stop.
I think he's going to play.
He's not playing again.
I think he's your quarterback.
Stop.
49-year-old Drew Brees.
Better cut him then. We have no money. We cut the Pro Bowl punter yesterday.
Yep.
Cut Jared Cook, too. I actually kind of like that. I was happy about that.
Brees would be right there. He could punt.
outside of Breeze, though, Thomas Morstead is a huge loss for the city. I mean, he's become a face of that city and the things he does around there for a very, very long time.
Great guy.
So that was one where, needed or not needed, I bet Mickey Loomis had a really hard time yesterday with that part of the gig. Yeah, you mentioned Vanderbilt beating Cincinnati 78. Now, Cincinnati's only 9-10, but still 78-64 yesterday on the road. Scottie Pippen, he didn't just play. He went for 36.
36. Woo.
Yeah. So,
T asked in the thread, you're going to have to help with this too, Neal, what are the women's chances to get into the NCAA tournament? They're right there on the bubble, right?
If they win tonight, they're in.
Who do they play tonight?
They play Tennessee today. Okay. Their net's 43, I think. I saw that this morning.
That's pretty bubbly.
Won.
That might be on the right side of the bubble.
They beat Arkansas last night, who's probably a 4 seed, something like that, in the NCAA tournament. Yeah. They came off that win against Kentucky and Lexington to close the regular season, who was ranked. They're bubbly. My gut tells me it takes one more win. Women's basketball, even more than men's basketball, kind of gives it to tradition and teams that have been around a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is why, at the moment, even though Ole Miss, frankly, has a better resume, State probably is a little ahead of Ole Miss in the pecking order at the moment to get in. I think Ole Miss could punch their ticket for sure tonight, but they're bubbly as all hell at the moment. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Yeah.
I knew they beat Arkansas yesterday. I knew Arkansas was a tournament team.
Yeah.
I knew they beat Kentucky the other day, and Kentucky's a tournament team.
I was going to say call me so-and-so, but I couldn't come up with a women's basketball analyst to compare myself to.
Rebecca Lobo.
Two was actually, you know what? That was on my. That was the one that I was contemplating, but couldn't quite get out there if that was still true or not. But I was thinking that.
So. Do you remember? She was a swimmer. And then she did TV for a long time. Tara. Oh God, why can't I think of her name? She's from California. She swam at Florida and then was a gold medalist. I watched a documentary on her the other day on the SEC network.
Okay.
Got sucked into it. It was really interesting.
What's
so interesting that I can't remember her name.
What's her name?
I want to say it's Tara, but maybe it's something. It's along those lines. She's from California, and I don't know. So it was a great doc. I was at the gym. I was running, and so I turned it on while I was running. It was really good.
So she did what now? She swam and then what?
She was from California, swam at Florida, and then swam on the Olympic teams like in 92, 96.
Okay. That's it?
Won a bunch of – yeah, it's just –
Dana Torres.
Dana Torres.
Oh. I thought you meant she became an analyst or an announcer or something.
Well, she did some stuff for NBC.
Oh, okay. That's what I was confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got into it by when NBC would come to do like Olympic prep and stuff. She would say, "Can I do some of the stuff on camera?" And they'd let her, and
seeing that here,
kind of took off from there.
Yeah, I've pulled up her Wikipedia page.
Yeah, Dana Torres. It was really fascinating.
Okay.
She grew up in like this super rich part of Beverly Hills, but her parents let her go off to this other high school in California that was more known for swimming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she ended up at Florida, and it was really fascinating. Anyway, I enjoyed it. It was well done.
7 world records during her career. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
She had the day of the gold medal thing. You know, they did one of the qualifying relays that morning, and she was bad. She was not very focused because she had never really swam in front of big crowds, and the crowd kind of threw her off, and they almost took her off the relay for the final.
That'd been a mistake.
And instead, they left her on, and she swam the fastest leg she'd ever swam. It was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just really interesting.
You've gotten caught up in some weird documentaries.
If lately. I catch a doc at the right time, I'll get sucked in for 2 hours. But I learned a lot that I didn't know. I didn't know anything about her. I had no idea that was her background. She's really and then she ended up being like that was back when the Olympics were such a big deal. And she ended up modeling and all that stuff, making a bunch of money modeling and that kind of thing. I just didn't know her backstory.
Because in today's world, Simone Biles may be the only Olympian that has that kind of pull, maybe.
And back then, if you were in swimming or track and field or gymnastics or figure skating, you could become a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Not now.
I was only like 10 years old. How big of a deal was that Kerrigan Harding stuff in
Oh, it's
92,
huge.
93?
It was huge.
Okay.
Everybody had an opinion on that.
Yeah.
Was pretty crummy.
A little crummy, yeah.
I mean, that could have
I've watched some docs and stuff on that.
Yeah, that could have gone terribly wrong.
Doesn't surprise you, though. Human nature and whatnot.
I
Okay,
guess.
sure. Like,
Probably cost Nancy Kerrigan a gold medal, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Where's she at today? What's she doing?
I don't know. I actually looked her up one day because I was curious to see
You
what
looked
she
up
was
Nancy
doing.
Kerrigan?
I did.
You, like, look up injured or, like...
I have a really strange brain, man. I do. I'll
you, like, wormhole it. It's like, okay, Nancy Kerrigan, Monica Seles. Like,
Oh, yeah, just go down the deal.
How old is Nancy Kerrigan? What do you think?
47?
51.
She's my age.
She was on Dancing with the Stars in season 24.
Okay.
Yeah, she retired from figure skating in 94.
Leif says she was on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She did some correspondent work for Inside Edition. Yeah, just stuff. Done some figure skating, ESPN stuff a little bit.
I bet Tanya Harding's looking rough these days.
You think so?
I'm just going to go out on a limb.
I don't think Lifespan is whatever there.
She rode life hard. Something tells me that life paid her back.
There was that movie a couple years ago about, was it like I, Tanya, I think was what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 50.
I wonder what she's doing now.
No.
10 to 20?
I forgot she competed as a professional boxer.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot that.
That's what I mean. I rest my case.
She was a contestant on season 26 of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, she was.
She finished in third place. Oh, well, you didn't see her recently? She won season 16 of Worst Cooks in America, Celebrity Edition.
Oh, no, I don't like that show.
I mean, right there for you.
I
You could
know.
have followed her all freaking...
Two genres that normally would sort of draw me in.
Yeah.
Because Dancing with the Stars...
She's in your wheelhouse right there.
Well, I mean, when you live in a house with someone who dances, and dancing is such talked about as much as it is, Dancing with the Stars frequently gets mentioned.
She said in 2018 on The Ellen Show that she still is active in skating and practices 3 times a week.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Where is Monica Seles now? Since you mentioned her.
We're going to stop in a second, people, I promise. I don't know. Whatever.
Do you have a crush on a women's tennis person at any point?
I don't know, probably like you did. I mean, like if you told me, hey, name some tennis players like Jennifer Capriati, maybe comes to mind, something like that. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that was like my young child.
You didn't have
thing.
the one, I guess maybe even two-dimensional relationship with Gabriella Sabatini that I did.
I think I'm too young for that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because frankly, at that age, I mean, we're probably talking about Steffi Graf and Monica Seles and that thing. Yeah, because Seles is, let's see, she's 47.
Yeah. I wonder how old Gabriella Sabatini is. Whatever happened to her? I'm about to find out.
Seles put out a memoir in 2009. She married a businessman who is 32 years her senior. They began dating in 2009. Announced their engagement in 2014.
Yeah, Gabriella Sabatini is 5 months younger than I am. She now resides in Switzerland.
Really?
Yep.
As of 2015, Seles is a paid spokesperson for Shire Pharmaceuticals, the makers of the first drug approved by the FDA to raise awareness about the disorder she suffered from when she was a young adult. She would eat normal amounts of food and meals and then secretly eat large amounts of junk food when she was alone. So,
Roger Federer had a childhood crush on Gabriella Sabatini.
are you seeing that on the thing?
Yeah,
somewhere?
a lot of us did.
Pretty common. I mean, that's like going to my age. Hey, you really kind of like Kelly Kapowski, didn't you? It's like, well, yeah,
Well, yeah.
the whole freaking generation. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you seen that Farrah Fawcett poster, right? Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah. I mean, sure. She won 8 Grand Slams. No, 9 Grand Slams.
Celis?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really good.
She missed the career Grand Slam by 1.
She was in the same era as Evert and Navratilova and all that, or was she a little after that?
I had her more associated with Groff.
Okay.
I thought the other two would have been older than that. Yeah, I had it more like Celis, Groff, that kind of in there, without even like looking to see kind of who she lost to in tournaments or anything along those lines. Yeah, because like I see here, and when she did her comeback in '94, Navratilova was already the WTA president at that point. So,
Leif said we skipped over the "Don't Be Fat" pill. What is that?
I think he's making a joke about the Celis thing.
Oh.
So anyway.
Gotcha.
Okay. I don't know where else we would even go at this point. So here's where we are. A lot of podcasts up. As we said, Neal's going to do a soft verbal. Did SEC football and beyond. There's a Mind on My Money. And then I'm going to go talk to Brian here pretty soon as well. So
here's one real quick.
Sure.
Brody Miller, 1 minute ago, says Scott Schneider of Hush Blackwell, again down in Baton Rouge, goes out of his way to credit the reporting from USA Today that sparked the investigation. He says it was very accurate.
Oh.
Whew.
Not a good look there.
Don't
for
hear
the
that
Tigers.
much very often.
Yeah. So
we'd like to thank the media for exposing this scandal.
So. All right. Plenty of podcasts on the network. Y'all have a good weekend. Take care. Again, basketball at 6 tomorrow night against Vanderbilt. Baseball 6:30, 1:30, 1:30 for that this weekend at Swayze Field. Take care. Talk to you on Monday.